sort of take a leaf out of Lucknow's book and sort of follow that model.
Right.
I've heard a lot about Lucknow ke kebabs. मेरे घर पे अच्छे कबाब ज़्यादा बनते हैं. Sorry guys. But Lucknow की chaat जो है, that's exceptional. That's world class. I don't think you can get chaat as good as Lucknow ever.
Wow.
So yeah, and like I've shot all over Lucknow. It's a beautiful city.
The last time you were here was for work?
It was for work. It was for Jolly LLB too. We shot all over the city. Here for almost a month, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, we shot almost the whole film over here. Maybe a short portion in Bombay, but most of the film was shot in Lucknow.
And what time of the year was it?
This was winters again.
Winter's beautiful.
Winter's beautiful. Slight dip in the air.
Yeah.
Lovely weather, not too hot.
Yeah.
गर्मी में Lucknow थोड़ा मुश्किल हो जाता है.
I think then everybody goes on holiday for a little while and then comes back.
Yeah.
Like, okay, now see, I have a series of questions. Uske beecho beech, I'm going to ask my own questions, of course. These are also my own questions. Want to understand how you existed in the first place.
How I existed.
Yeah.
Thanks to my parents.
Thanks to your parents. Thank you for that. Thank you. Your childhood. Where did you grow up?
So I had a very interesting childhood. So my mother is, that's baby me, and that's the Taj Mahal behind me.
Wow.
Photograph hai wo. That's my mother. I used to sit on her head and I used to pull her hair.
The best way to travel.
The best way to travel. Eco-friendly.
Eco-friendly.
Leaves no carbon footprint.
You get Kana also, Mummy.
Yeah. I used to always like to sit on my mother's or my father's shoulders and pull their hair out. My father has no hair left now. My mother still, thanks to her Kashmiri roots.
You were traveling on his shoulders longer.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sorry, you were about to say something.
About my background. So my father's from New Delhi and my mother is from Kashmir, and they had a love marriage and they had us. So I think childhood was split between GK1 / Kalkaji. I was born in Kalkaji, which is in South Delhi. And every weekend we used to go to my grandparents' house, which is in Nizamuddin Basti, which is like this very traditional area where you had to wear salwar kameez and do your adabs and everything. And every summer vacation we used to go to Kashmir, where my mom is from, because my grandparents were alive. And so you sort of had to exist in all these three worlds. So I think as children, me and Sakib, my younger brother, we just, wherever we went, that was home for us. And I think that sort of gives you a very big understanding of just your family and how distinct one part of the family can be from the other.
Yeah.
And how you have to learn to sort of cohabit with all the different worlds.
Right.
Also being in Kashmir makes you a little more aware of the world in large, because school mein to hum log Backstreet Boys or Hindi films or all the 90s cinema mein bade hue the, which was like, we loved that, but then you went to Kashmir, it's a different world. You went to Nizamuddin, which is a different world. So I think it was very mishmash of everything happening.
It's like just playing different avatars.
I think so, because you had to go and also be part of the Kashmiri side of your family, and also you had to fit in with all the cool kids in school also.
So मतलब traditional and
cool,
modern.
Cool भी, otherwise school भी बनना होता था ना, वरना बड़ी दिक्कत हो जाती वरना स्कूल में कोई बात ही नहीं करता. So I think you had to do a balancing act.
Right.
I think that's the reason why we are also okay actors, because you try and fit into every world.
Much more than okay actors. Listen, now it says over here when we've been doing your homework, you're a bit of a prankster as a kid.
Yeah.
Really?
तो बचपन में मैं क्या करती थी कि कुछ भी गलत हरकत करके ना अपने भाई का नाम लगाती. I'm sure everybody's done that, right? I'm sure you all have done that. वो छोटा था and once what happened, we went to a relative's house और उनके घर पे ना वो ड्रेसिंग टेबल पे जितना सामान था, all the perfume bottles and the lipstick and everything, I just literally destroyed everything. Like threw perfume bottles in the bathroom.
That's you destroying. What is in your hand over there?
It's a little gun. I think I was auditioning for Gangs of Wasseypur back then also.
The amount of preparation.
Lifelong struggle.
You destroyed all those bottles, the perfume.
I destroyed everything, and then my brother was younger than me, so I उसका नाम लगा दिया. And he was so young, so he was sleeping. When he woke up, my mother asked him, "तुमने किया है?" So he started howling because he was scared. So रोने लग गया तो मतलब it's admission of guilt, right? And I didn't say anything. So for many years, my mother believed it was him who had destroyed all those things.
Right.
Till one day we eating dinner, and my mother said, "Oh, that aunt, blah blah blah, whose house it was. She was away in a different country. She's coming back, and we're going to host her for dinner." So Saqib suddenly goes, I didn't do it. So I'm like, yeah, I did it.
How many years later?
Almost 10 years later.
Oh
Like, we were like literally children. And my mother was shocked. She's like, itne saalon tak. And I was like, yeah, because he didn't admit it. Why would I, take the guilt and get scolded on
What's
it?
the age difference between you?
For 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
2 years. You're the younger one.
I'm the older one. He's the younger one. Although I'm the more mature one. Sisters usually are. See, they all agree.
Older sisters.
Older sisters are always more mature. Actually, women in general are more mature than men.
True.
You have no other option but to.
A 5-year-old girl is more mature than I am. Yeah, way sharper, way cleverer than I am. Or than I ever will be. Now, but you come from a family of restaurateurs.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, my father makes these amazing kebabs in there.
And when did he? See, that's why you're talking about the food at home.
Yeah.
But when did he establish, or when did he start his business?
I think, as far as I can remember, it's been my father's passion, like the hospitality industry. So he always wanted to do that, and he was always very busy trying to set up a great business.
Right.
I mean, and his father, my dada, was very against the whole idea because he thought, why should my son? We had a tannery sort of a business, and he always wanted my father to go into that. My father was like, no, I want to do hospitality.
Yeah.
So he never understood it. और मेरे दादा क्योंकि उस जमाने के थे तो उनको लगता था कि अब तुम क्या झूठी बेटे तो हो गए. He had a different understanding of the world, and I think it's a generational gap thing always.
Yeah.
So my father loved it, and this is what it's like another child that he has.
And that's what put food on the table.
That's what put food on the table. Yeah, literally.
It did. How many of you over here knew that Puma's from a restaurateur background? Anybody want to?
Lots of people, yeah.
Solid stalkers over here.
Oh, stop.
No.
Lovely.
Just teasing you. College then, uske baad.
So grew up as a prankster, and then college was Gargi College, which was an all-girls college. So हुआ क्या कि I went to a co-ed school. I grew up with all boys, but जब college की बारी आई, so I remember not getting good enough marks to get into the college of my choice, which was St. Stephen's, and my mother was very upset because I had fought and said I wanted to study humanities and not science because my parents always thought I should. I was smart. I was into education. I was also the head girl, meet pranks. So they always thought I'll do something more academic with my life. But when I said I wanted to study humanities, it was a bit of a shock for them because they were just disappointed, I guess. And in 12th, I don't know, for some reason I didn't get the required marks and I didn't get into St. Stephen's. And so my parents said, go to Gargi. It's a good college. It's a girls' college. It's right next to our house. And I ended up going over there. I was initially very upset about going to like an all-girls institution. But honestly, looking back, I think it's been the most amazing aspect of my education because somehow I felt by going to an all-girls institution, I was just free to be myself.
Yeah.
I know in a very strange sort of a way. Like we were literally gundas.
Yeah.
We were like pranksters all the time. I was doing theatre all the time. I was, doing so many extra things and I didn't feel, I don't know, I just felt freer. I mean, there's no other way to explain it. So, I mean, I look back at amazing memories of being in college, and हमारे college के opposite used to be this cafe coffee day in Mithas, which was where all the guys would come and hang out and wait for the girls to cross the road and try
Must
and
have been a very busy spot.
So I was very busy. So I used to be like a bit of a gunda. कि क्या है? So I think all those things you can do because you've got the other women watching your back.
And would you tell your girlfriends if they were seeing someone, they were like, would you do a quick character judge?
Oh yeah, fully. I think guys got really scared when they had to sort of come and visit their respective girlfriends in our college because they were like, इतनी सारी लड़कियां एक साथ, oh god.
Right.
Like I don't think I can handle that. But he would get like a full scan saying, ये ठीक नहीं है, वो ठीक नहीं है, बात ठीक से करो, ये करो, बिल दो, we cancel or control delete.
Of course. Now, but that's the journey over there. Then you've gotten to, the show business. From family was in one business,
right.
And वो change जो है, how did that happen?
So the thing is, like if I can be honest, I think I always wanted to be an actor. Ever since I can remember as a little girl.
With the bandook in your hand?
With the bandook in my hand. And these are few pictures. I'm always dressing up in all my childhood pictures when I look back at them. And but it's something you don't admit to yourself. If you come from like a conservative Muslim middle class family in Delhi,
Right.
being an actress is not an option.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, possibly in my family, a lot of women like they just get married.
Right.
A lot of my cousins are just groomed to get married, which is
Right.
fine. I think it's a choice that everybody should have, whatever they want to do.
So what's your opinion?
Well, my opinion is I think there's so much talk about being a feminist nowadays and everything, which is great because in our country we do need that kind of conversation. You know, being the largest democracy, we still have so many issues. Women are not allowed to live. They are killed at birth. Female education is a joke. Women don't have a choice to decide what they want to do with their lives. So I think this conversation about feminism is important. However, the most important thing for me when you talk about female rights is the right to choose. Whether you want to get married or you want to have a family or a baby or you want to have a career, the choice should be yours.
Absolutely.
It shouldn't be somebody else's decision for you.
Yeah.
You know, and I have a lot of friends who had the choice and they made the choice that they wanted to just get married, which is completely fine. But a lot of women don't get that choice.
Yeah.
And I think that's not cool and that's not fair. So that's where I stand on this whole debate really.
Yeah. No, and you will push for the change that is happening. I mean, it's not. I think it's just awareness and evolution of thought for
Precisely.
ourselves.
Yeah, for sure. But like, but for me, I mean, so I always wanted to act, and for me, but to admit that even to myself, let alone my family, was a
I
big.
want to hear this one. One second. Just
Okay.
pause.
Okay,
Don't forget
pause.
what you're saying. People at the back. Hello, hi. Just little silence. Just.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Hi, people in the back.
Thank
I
you.
want you to come forward. Please
come
listen
now.
to
Get-
me,
get
and then
to
you
it.
can ask me questions if you like. I'd love to answer them.
Yes, there is Q&A right after this.
I think there's alcohol in the back. That's why they're not interested in me.
It's more
For
interesting.
conversation, alcohol always wins.
More interesting than our
Yeah,
case.
I think so.
Yes, you were saying that unpause.
Unpause. I was talking about
Acting.
acting, and I always wanted to act, but it was something I could not even admit to myself that I wanted to become an actress because everybody would like, okay, heroine banna hai. You know what I mean? People just sort of mock at you or laugh at you, but it was something I knew I always wanted to do, and it took me a while to admit that to myself, let alone to my family. So college was the time when I really did a lot of theatre. I did professional, amateur, semi-professional, I directed plays, worked in various theatre groups. And I think that was really the decision time for me where I was like, oh, this is what I love doing. Being on stage, performing in front of a live audience was just so electrifying. And this is the high I want to live for.
No amount of money can buy that.
And no amount of money can buy that. When someone walks up to me and says, oh, we saw this film of yours and it's amazing, you really like, it means a lot to me. Because you're just in your isolated world, just saying some lines and doing something, you don't know the impact it really has. And you feel so special that what you do is actually touching people in some way.
Yes.
So that for me was, nothing, I don't think I could fit into any other job. Like if I wasn't an actor, I'd probably still be struggling to be an actor.
Fair.
So, yeah.
Yeah. No, and I mean, for people in the audience, I'm sure so many of you are aware already. Half of you must be artists yourselves, practicing artists, but the community of the artists and performers is very exciting to hang out with. And
It's a crazy bunch of people artists.
No? Yeah. Now, I'm gonna ask our lovely audience a few questions. What I'm going to do is, this is a segment.
You're going to ask them questions?
Haji, it's like true or false.
Oh, okay.
Simple.
Okay.
Simple. About you.
Oh, about me. Okay.
Yes, not like.
I want to know this.
Now it's called Mind the Gap, and why we call it Mind the Gap is just in case there was a gap of information, you didn't know something about Poonam Qureshi, we will now know. Okay, so now the first thing, all you have to say is true or false, which one is true and which one is false. Okay? Puma started a career in theatre or advertising?
That's easy.
Theatre, because you just said it.
I just said it.
Yeah. These words don't rearrange themselves automatically.
This is a teleprompter.
Yeah, teleprompter. Quickly, somebody. Okay, now, but theatre was there also. Right?
Yeah, of course, theatre. Theatre was there,
Advertising
and
came
then
about when? Much later.
advertising happened in Bombay. So when I moved to Bombay, I went and met this casting director who told me.
Who?
Amita Sehgal. So she does a lot of advertising, casting and stuff. Lovely lady, and she gave me a very good piece of advice. She said, you've come from Delhi, and I was brand new, like I just not even a month, and I was like just meeting people and like people recommending, and I said, I want to do movies, and that's what I want to do. She said, it's not gonna happen like that. So I said, don't break my heart. Like I've come with all these dreams in my eyes. Like ऐसे नहीं होने वाला. तुम दिल्ली से आई हो, ठीक ठाक लड़की हो, घर की लड़की लगती हो. Go for ad auditions. Try and get into advertising. Once you get picked up in advertising, who knows you'll get. Like, and her advice was, there's no one hard and fast rule to make it.
Yes.
And I also believe that I think success at something is not, like you can't plan it. It happens. You just have to keep doing your work all the time. And if success happens, then it happens. But there's no like short way of doing it. But her advice was do advertising, and that way you might get noticed, which did happen. Like my first year in Bombay, I had no work.
Right.
So I came to Bombay thinking, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna like make it, and I'm gonna be like that. But it didn't happen like that. It was very sad and depressing. And I lived in a PG with 4 other girls. One was from Gujarat, one was from Ahmedabad, one was a Bombay girl, but a family little far away. And it was in Juhu versus Wazir Road. It was awful because I had never lived in a. It was 2 flats. So the family rented out 1 flat to 4 girls, kind of a thing. Right. And I'd never lived in a shared place before. I was always like chaperone in Delhi, but I was like, nee, I'm going to go to Bombay. I'm going to make it on my own.